She brought up, we're not even good at verbal and the cognitive yet. We need to practice that, have some pleasant conversations.
Okay.
I'm thinking, yeah, we do, but for some reason it always escalates to that. So you're explaining that, that spin, and it seems like, okay, that's happening even if we start out verbal.
If she's behaving differently than she values, so let's assume your wife is smart and she's trying to be educated on these principles. So she knows if she said, we need to take it slow, we need to do the layers, and if she starts doing things that are against her values or against her plan, then she's definitely experiencing this. Now, is Satan the kind of guy that would magnify pain to mess up the plan? This is where we really want you to practice those gestures and communication tools to keep slowing down the conversation and bring the spirit back in. Soften things, warm things up a little bit. It's not slowing her down. You want to make sure your gestures are slow. Let's slow the conversation down. What you have to say is important to me. I want to make sure we have a constructive conversation. I want to try to keep the spirit present. I'm going to keep trying to warm things up here. I appreciate that you're talking to me. I appreciate you're taking the time to be here. So start practicing those slow down, warm up communication patterns, so you can help keep the spirit present, so you can keep the whole thing from spinning out of control. If she's ready to, she can join you in strategizing ways for both of you to keep it slow and warm. You can start to teach each other, like offer things. Hey, I could do this. And then she'll say, well, I can do this to keep it slow and soft. My goal for this gesture is just to slow us down. It's not to be insulting and put it in your face. Oh, that's what you mean by that. Well, I would rather you do this gesture here instead of that gesture there. Like, okay, explain your goal, what you're trying to accomplish, and then work together to find a communication way of doing so. Asked her if she was a good day, and she responded with a lecture on my insincerity. I said, I hope your day is great. That just means she's not ready, but I'm proud of your courage to try. We're going to get soon to the sledgehammer on the foundation lesson at some point soon, and that is one of the important things to keep in mind of why they slam you and slam you and slam you. So they're trying to test your fortitude. If you get slammed, do you fall apart? Do you get mean? Do you lose your dignity? It's really important that when you make an effort into season 1, and if it goes wrong that fast, you retreat, regroup, recommit, re-strengthen, and then try again. And that's how we become consistent. We try again. For the man to break the cycle, he's going to have to watch for the sensation of insult. This is the most common satanic attack on men. Check yourself. How often do you feel insulted that stimulates the sensation of fight, flight, or freeze? And while I finish reading this paragraph, please type 1 or 2 words into the chat so that everyone else, the new guys, can get a feel for this. What is the most common feeling you have when things start to go wrong? Like right after she says that one thing. Other names for it are offended, bugged, irritated, frustrated, overwhelmed, nagged, annoyed, etc. You will find that the steps to take from here match what I have taught in other writings called mood battles or level 2 battles. Go ahead and add some more on trial. Thank you. Let's do one of these, like suffocated. That's a good one. When you're actually in the moment, you follow all 4 steps quickly, likened to responding in an actual military situation or an actual sports situation. When you're preparing for it, you start with name it. All right, so we do notice it, name it, flip it, find it. So we're gonna go with suffocated. We're going to flip it. What is the opposite feeling of suffocated? Go ahead and type it in. What comes to mind? Breathing, okay. That's one sensation. I'm now breathing. What's another one that just came in? Centered and present. Resuscitated, relieved. Ooh, I like that one. Any of you have been athletes or athletic coaches, if your guys are in the mindset of we're going to lose this game, how important is it to get them to flip their psychology into where you can win this game? That's like life and death, right? There's no way they're going to win if they don't flip it. This tells us that it's possible to feel the opposite of what the circumstances call for. Okay, let's say I'm going to feel centered and present instead of suffocated. Now the question becomes, how can I find centered and present under these circumstances? We've all watched these athletes do a magic trick in their head where they don't feel the sensations of I just threw an interception. They somehow get centered and present under difficult circumstances. What if you're a batter who hasn't hit the ball for 10 at-bats? Statistically speaking, you suck at hitting a ball. Let's get a few quotes here that will help you become centered. I'll give you some of mine. Breathe, Maurice. Just breathe. Stay in the moment. Focus on the primary goal. Anyone else have statements they've used? She doesn't mean to hurt me. Oh, that's a good one. She is hurting. I love the story of the lion and the mouse with this one. If you haven't heard of that childhood story where the lion has a thorn in its paw and the mouse pulls it out and they become best friends. If you are uneducated on this stuff, there are tons of books on how this is done. You can even get books by top athletes and the sports psychologists if you like to study that stuff. This is just like anything else you practice. You get a decent idea and then you refine it. Then you try it again, you refine it. But now we have to talk about notice it. When should I trigger this powerful response? So I would then imagine a circumstance where I start to feel suffocated, and then I would just start listing out the details of that. And then as that started to build, I would trigger my flip it. I'm noticing it. I've named it. I'm feeling the suffocation. All right, initiate the flip it. I don't even have to think about it now because I have the flip it right here. You can even read it. Keep the ones that are helpful, take off the ones that are not helpful, and then find it. All right, what are the steps I wrote in advance? How did I decide to do this? Please do not do this in your head. Please do not think that if you just think about it for a minute or two, you're going to get it right. You've got to write out the script. It will always take forever if you try to do this in your head. If you can't figure it out on your own, that's why you have man trainers. When the women say, who's your man trainer? Who's helping with it? She's not going to be able to help you with this. She doesn't know how to do this process for a man. If you don't know how to complete the process of recentering yourself under a difficult circumstance, then you need to figure it out. You need to find the answers to it. And if you don't know it, get a trainer to help you with it. Please don't be one of those men who says, yeah, I can figure that out in the next 6 months, when it'll take 15 minutes for a trainer to help you figure it out. If a man is able to successfully preside, provide, and protect, his wife will feel increasingly safe and secure. As the woman feels safe and secure, she nurtures her husband, which in turn inspires him, motivates him to work harder to preside, provide, and protect. It's not very hard to imagine, right, brethren? If your wife is the slightest bit nurturing, how much does it take for you to want to preside, provide, and protect more? Some of you are thirsty for, and because you haven't received it forever, that one smile, that one thank you, that one appreciation statement, that one, wow, you really are a good man. If you haven't felt that for a long time, I grieve with you, but you can't wait for it. And some scientists say, and you don't have to start presiding, providing, protecting until she does do it. I've seen bishops, I've seen other scientists say, well, of course he's not presiding, providing, protecting. You're not nurturing him enough. As if she's supposed to nurture you first. Anyone out there don't believe it? Have you been convinced that your wife is different from all other women and does not have the capacity to be a nurturing person?
When I hear guys had a lost battle or a series of lost battle and they say, but my wife is being helpful, I always kind of cringe and worry. That's not going to work out well. There's work on my side to do to build that up.
Don't the books say that the woman's supposed to be helpful and nurturing and encouraging if he's ever expected to overcome his problems?
I don't read books like that.
I am very disturbed by the books that imply the woman is the one who makes the difference for the man to succeed. I hope that somewhat makes you feel less manly, like I can't succeed unless a woman is nice to me. Come on, guys. We are above and beyond that. We are not children. We do not need a mother to pat us on the head to tell us we're doing it right. We are men. We know what's right before a woman tells us what's right. Let us all do the right thing to work towards presiding, providing, protecting, even while a woman is not nurturing us.